Pandemic Workouts, Biceps 101, dedication at the end to Cornerstone Books, who provided the weights. Thank you very much, John. So working out at home, you don't have the weights that you would normally have. No problem. Books come in very handy. So much for the concept of the weak reader. Okay, so important thing, whenever you're doing weights, you ideally want to isolate, you want to move one joint at a time. One joint. So you're going to pretend there's an imaginary, right here. Pretend there's an you've got a imaginary pin going through here, and you're basically pivoting on that pin. When you move one joint at a time, you put maximum stress, maximum load on that one muscle. Notice that my palm is flat, facing up. If I rotate it inward, you're going to work the muscles a little bit differently. Back to facing up. Some people, I don't know if you can go further out, but the angle, so imagine you're holding a dumbbell. So if you're holding a dumbbell, you're like this. If you rotate out, notice the difference. And I know my hands look pretty gross, but you know what? I'm not in the gym, so it doesn't matter. Nobody to impress. Okay, so stand erect. Sorry. Okay, so stand erect, stomach in. And you basically, so whenever you're doing weights, actually, first thing you want to work on is core strength. Abdominal muscles, lower back, stabilizes the core. Okay? All right. So you grab your weights and you're basically, notice only, well, you've got slight movement, but basically I should be moving only here. You've got an imaginary pull going through here. So basically you're pivoting on that one spot. So your focus is moving only one. You can see what I mean. So basically, if you're having problems or it's a little bit challenging to keep your posture correct, what you may want to do is rest your foot on something, and that makes it a little bit easier to stabilize. Those of you who work on your feet, you may want to get a little bench as well. 8 inches, 12 inches, 15 inches high. Takes the stress off the back, right? And remember, you always want, whatever you do with one muscle, with one arm, one side, you always do the same thing with the other side. Ideally, ooh, it's looking ugly. Come on, let's get that little imaginary pivot there. See, the reason why they have mirrors in the gym is not so you can walk around and preen and pimp and watch yourself, especially the guys. They're there so that you can exercise properly and efficiently. Okay? The word for today is proprioception. Proprioception, which is the official word for muscle memory. So, first thing that you want to do when you're exercising, you basically want to train the muscles to move correctly. When you start a new exercise routine, or rather, when you start working and start doing a new exercise to work a specific muscle, you want to, for approximately the first 4 to 6 weeks or so, you want to use light weights. Are you listening to me, gentlemen? Light weights. The majority of the strength gains, I wanted to do a Michael Jackson robot there, but my sister would have been ragging me about how I can't dance. You're going away, buddy. Okay, sorry, we'll distract you there. Right, so the majority of the strength gains from a new weight training, also known or more accurately known as resistance training routine, is because the muscles, the nerves learn to work together more efficiently. So the majority of the strength gains from a new exercise routine is from increased neuromuscular efficiency. The reason why it is so important, and if you bend down, go to a pike position, 90 degrees, oh sorry, my mistake, we're working the biceps muscle. This is the biceps muscle, right? It has two primary heads. One goes through the joint, one somewhere around. Anyway, the reason why it's called biceps is because there are two parts of the muscle, biceps, as opposed to triceps on the back, where there are three parts to the muscle. And to work the triceps, you go down into a pike position. Notice I'm keeping my elbow there, so I should be, let's pretend that I'm at a right angle here, 90 degrees. Got your upper arm parallel to the ground, and now you're shooting up, and you're working your triceps muscles. And here's another extremely important principle of resistance training. Whenever you work one muscle, you work its partner, which is the opposite muscle. Some of you may have heard the term agonist and antagonist, biceps, triceps. You always want to maintain balance. Balance in the strength between opposing muscles. Those of you who do relay, used to run track, this may be a little bit familiar, right? And remember, once again, whatever you do with one side of the body or one muscle, you do the same thing with the opposite side. And the reason why you do this is to maintain balance. So you want your right arm to be as strong as your left arm. You want your right biceps to have the same strength and power as your left biceps. Although everyone is going to have a more dominant, stronger arm, more dominant, stronger leg. Always maintaining balance. The abdominal muscles balanced by the lower back muscles. If you've got weak abs, you probably have low back pain. Number one cause of lower back pain is weak abdominal muscles. The balance is not there. Coming to you, this is Dawkins. Welcome to Pandemic Workouts. Today's workout is dedicated to the late, great, my favorite spy, Sean Connery, AKO Bond, James Bond, 007, or as they might say in England, 007.